The great hall of the Alien Academy was silent when the human girl entered. Her name was Lina, the only human student ever allowed inside this place. The aliens watched her with cold smiles, their pale faces full of amusement. To them, humans were weak, slow, unworthy. In the center of the hall stood the ancient armor, a tall golden suit built thousands of years ago by a lost alien race. No one had ever activated it. Many had tried. All had failed. The armor chose no one. But today Lina walked toward it. The aliens began whispering to each other. Then they started laughing. Loud. Sharp. Cruel. One alien woman stepped forward and said, "You? A human girl? You think you are worthy to touch it?" Lina did not answer. She only looked at the armor, almost as if she recognized it. Another alien laughed and pointed. "Go ahead. Touch it. It will reject you instantly." But Lina kept walking. Slow. Calm. Focused. Everyone watched. Her hand rose toward the glowing chest plate. The golden circuits began to shimmer, as if they felt her presence. The room fell silent. Then an alien shouted, "Stop. You will embarrass yourself." But Lina ignored them. Her fingers touched the armor, and the entire hall exploded with light. A shockwave rolled across the floor. The glowing patterns raced along the armor like lightning waking from a long sleep. The aliens gasped and stepped back. The ancient armor was activating. Lina did not move. She kept her hand on the warm metal, as if she had done this before. One terrified alien whispered, How is this possible? Only the creators could awaken it." Lina slowly turned her head toward them, her voice calm and steady. "I didn't think I was worthy," she said. "I made it." The aliens froze. Every light in the hall flickered, and the armor's eyes opened. The hall was shaking with light, but Lina did not step back. The ancient armor stood tall in front of her, taller than any alien in the room. Its golden surface glowed like the sun, and strange shapes moved under the metal, circuits, memories, something alive. The aliens stared with fear and confusion. Their proud faces turned pale. This was impossible. No one had ever awakened the armor. Not in 1,000 years. Yet a human girl had done it in seconds. One alien named Ryloth whispered, "This cannot be. The armor only responds to its creators. Only their blood, their touch, their mind." Another alien replied, voice shaking, "Then what is she? What is that human?" Lina lowered her hand slowly, but the armor did not turn off. It stayed active, glowing brighter every second. The golden patterns formed rings around her feet, like the armor was greeting her, like it knew her. Lina took a breath. She looked at the armor with soft eyes, not shocked, not scared, only remembering. "It still listens," she murmured, as if she was talking to an old friend. The aliens heard her. Their fear doubled. Ryloth stepped forward, pointing at her. "What do you mean still?" "Human, you speak as if you have touched it before." Lina did not answer at first. She walked around the armor, touching the glowing lines like she was reading them with her fingers. When she finally looked up, she spoke in a calm voice. "I built the design," she said. The aliens froze. The room fell silent. Silent in a way that no breath, no heartbeat, no thought seemed to exist. "You," Ryloth said, almost choking. "You are lying. Humans do not have the knowledge. Humans could never create something this advanced." Lina smiled a little. It wasn't a proud smile. It was a sad one. "I didn't say I built the armor," she replied. "I said I built the design." The aliens stared at her in shock. Because only one species ever had the blueprint of the ancient armor. The creators. A race long gone. A race that vanished before the humans even learned to walk upright. Another alien shouted, "Impossible. The creators vanished over 10,000 years ago. You cannot expect us to believe." But the armor interrupted. The golden chest plate opened, revealing a glowing core inside. Warm light spilled across Lina's face. The armor moved slow, smooth, respectful, bowing its head toward her. The entire hall gasped. It was bowing. To a human. The armor spoke in a deep, echoing voice that vibrated through the walls. "Welcome back, architect." The alien stepped back as if lightning had struck the floor. "Architect." the highest rank of the Creator Society. The one who shaped the weapons, the ships, the cities. The one who built wonders. The one the armor was made for. Lina closed her eyes. She looked almost tired, as if the word cut into an old wound. I am not the architect, she whispered. Not anymore. But the armor did not listen. You carry the memory, it said. You carry the pattern. You carry the mind. Ryloth trembled. Human, what are you? Some kind of descendant? Some reincarnation? Lina shook her head. My people, humans, were not the creators. She touched her chest lightly. But I was someone before I became human. The aliens gasped. This was worse than they imagined. A creator mind, reborn inside a human body? A lost architect hidden on a primitive world? It was impossible. Yet the armor, ancient, sacred, unquestionable, believed her. The hall lights flickered again. The armor's golden circuits began to shift, forming shapes that floated in the air. Holograms, maps, blueprints, histories, images of a great war, images of giant ships crashing into stars, images of creators dying. All of it played in the air above the armor. The aliens watched horrified. Lina watched heartbroken. I remember now, she whispered. We built the armor as a last hope, a guardian, but we were attacked before we could finish. She placed her hand on her forehead, feeling the memories returning like fire inside her skull. We ran to save our knowledge. We hid our minds inside energy seeds, sleeping until safe hands found them. Rylotha's jaw dropped. But humans found them? Humans. No, Lina said calmly. I found one. When I was a child. It connected to my mind. Slowly. Quietly. Teaching me. Shaping me. The aliens suddenly understood. This human girl was not only smart, not only brave, not only skilled. She carried the last mind of the creators inside her. Their knowledge. Their memories. Their designs. It explained everything. Her genius. Her fearlessness. Her strange connection to the armor. The armor stepped forward, towering above her. It kneeled on one knee. A golden giant kneeling for a small human girl. Command me, it said. The aliens gasped. No. Ryloth shouted. She is dangerous. If she commands the armor, she will control the entire academy. Maybe the whole empire. Lina looked at them quietly. I didn't come here to control anything, she said softly. I came because I felt a call. A whisper in my dreams. I thought the armor was broken. But now I know. It was waiting. She looked at the aliens, but her eyes were sad, not threatening. You laughed at me because I'm human. I understand. Humans are small. Humans are new. Humans look weak. She placed her hand on the armor again. But humans can carry the past, even when they don't know it. The armor's light brightened again, filling the room with warmth. Ryloth stared at her in silence, anger turning into fear, fear turning into respect. Human, he whispered. What will you do now? Lina looked up at the armor. Her voice was calm. I will finish what I started 10,000 years ago. The armor's eyes glowed gold. The aliens stood frozen. And Lina, small, human, but carrying a creator's soul, took her first step toward destiny. The hall stayed silent long after Lina spoke. Only the soft hum of the ancient armor filled the air, glowing like a living star beside her. The aliens stood in a circle, unsure whether to run, bow, or attack. No one had ever seen something like this. A human girl awakening a forgotten weapon. A creator mind inside a fragile body. It broke every rule of their universe. But there was something even stranger happening. The armor did not shut down. Instead, its golden lights began to form symbols in the air. Symbols older than any language the aliens knew. Lina looked up at the floating patterns. Her eyes softened with recognition. It's a message, she whispered. Ryloth stepped closer, fear still in his voice. A message? For who? For me, she said quietly. The architect. The armor spoke with a deep, echoing voice that shook dust from the ceilings. You have returned. But you are not complete. Lina frowned. Not complete? What does that mean? The armor responded. The mind is broken. The memories are shattered. You cannot command the armory until you pass the test. The aliens exchanged nervous glances. Ryloff whispered, "A test? What test?" She already awakened it. Another alien murmured, "Maybe the creators did not want anyone to control the armor until they proved themselves." But Lina didn't seem afraid. She looked up into the armor's glowing eyes with calm determination. "Show me," she said. The armor stepped back and struck the floor with its golden fist. A shockwave rippled across the hall. The tiles under Lina's feet glowed and unlocked. A circular platform rose from beneath her, covered in ancient runes that rotated like gears. Aliens stumbled backward as the platform lifted her into the air. Ryloth shouted, "Human, stop. We do not know what it will do to you." Lina shook her head. "I didn't come this far to stop now." The armor raised its hand, and a beam of golden light burst from the ceiling, surrounding Lina like a pillar of sunlight. Her hair lifted in the energy, her eyes glowing faintly. The armor spoke. "Architect, you must prove you still carry the spirit. You must show you remember why you created us." The aliens watched in awe as the golden light wrapped around Lina like a cocoon. The patterns from the armor floated toward her, entering the light, entering her mind. Her whole body shook. Memories flooded into her. Fire. Smoke. A great war. Ships falling through burning skies. Cities collapsing. Creator voices screaming. Her own hands building the armor in a desperate rush. The aliens saw her expression change, pain, shock, sorrow. But she did not scream. She did not fall. She held her breath and let the memories wash over her. The armor continued the test. "What was your purpose?" Lina's voice trembled. "To protect life, to defend the innocent." "What was your fear?" "That we would destroy ourselves with our own power." "What was the final order you gave the armory?" Lina's eyes widened as the memory returned to her. "I told it to sleep," she whispered. "To wait for someone who would not repeat our mistakes." The armor's lights flared brighter, like flames reaching toward the sky. "And who is that someone?" Lina opened her eyes fully. The golden light reflected in them like fire. "Me." The beam of energy exploded upward, punching through the ceiling and shooting into the sky like a signal flare. The entire academy felt the shock of it. Students ran from their rooms. Guards rushed into the hall. Sirens echoed through the corridors. Everyone saw the golden pillar. Everyone saw the awakening. Ryloth covered his face in disbelief. She passed. The armor accepted her. The platform lowered. Lina stepped off it slowly, breathing hard but standing firm. The golden light faded from her body, but a trace of it remained in her eyes, like stars hiding behind clouds. The armor kneeled before her again. "You are ready." Lina placed her hand on the chest plate. The armor opened its back automatically, inviting her inside. The aliens gasped. "Wait!" Ryloth shouted. "If she enters it, she becomes the controller. She becomes the first pilot in 10,000 years." Lina didn't answer him. She took a step toward the open armor, but then stopped. She looked back at Ryloth, her voice soft but firm. "You mocked humans today," she said. "But you were not wrong. Humans are weak. Humans are small. Humans make mistakes. But humans also learn. Humans adaptado. Humans grow." She touched her chest. "And I am human. Whoever I was before, this is who I am now." The aliens stared at her, not in fear anymore, but in respect they didn't know how to express. Lina turned back to the armor. "I will not use this to conquer," she said. "I will use it to protect." The armor's core pulsed like a heartbeat. "Enter," it commanded gently. Lina stepped into the open chest cavity. The armor closed around her like a second skin, golden plates sliding into place. The room shook as the armor stood tall again, now with Lina inside it, controlling it, commanding it. The eyes glowed brighter than ever. Aliens around the hall dropped to their knees. And the armor spoke with Lina's voice and its own combined. "The architect lives." The ancient armor stood tall in the center of the hall. Golden light spread from its core like a quiet sun. Inside it, Lina took a slow breath. She could feel everything, the weight of the armor, the flow of energy, the heartbeat of the machine. It felt familiar. Too familiar. As if she had worn it before. The aliens watched in stunned silence. None of them dared speak. None of them dared move. Ryloth was the first to find his voice. Human. Lina, do you understand what you're holding? He asked in a shaky whisper. Inside the armor, Lina opened her eyes. The world looked different. Brighter. Sharper. Every face in the hall looked small to her now. Not because she felt powerful, but because the armor was tall, ancient, alive. I understand more than before, she said calmly. Her voice came from the armor, deep and echoing, mixed with her own. It made the aliens step back again. The armor spoke at the same time as Lina, forming a dual voice. There is no time. Lina blinked. No time for what? The armor lifted its hand and pointed at the shattered ceiling. A holographic map appeared above them, blue, gold, and pulsing. It showed the stars of the known galaxy, and a dark region spreading like a stain. Ryloth stared at it with fear. What is that? Lina felt the answer rise in her mind. The old enemy, she whispered. The armor confirmed with a slow, heavy tone. The ones who ended the creators have returned. The room exploded with panic. Aliens shouted, stepping back, grabbing each other. Some fell to their knees. Others tried to run. Ryloth's voice cracked. No. They were myths. They cannot be real. The armor shifted, turning its head slowly toward him. They were never gone, it said. They only slept. Lina felt a cold pain inside her chest. Memories flashed again. Burning skies, giant shadows, monstrous shapes moving through space. She remembered the fear. The helplessness. The screams of her people. Her hands tightened inside the armor. She whispered. I thought they died. I thought we stopped them. The armor answered quietly. You did. But not all. Lina lowered her head. A heavy sadness wrapped around her. She wished the memory had stayed forgotten. The aliens looked at her, confused and terrified. Ryloth asked. Who are these enemies? Lina spoke slowly, as if saying the name burned her throat. The Arath, she said. A species made for destruction. A species that grows by consuming other worlds. They destroyed our cities, our fleets, everything. The aliens froze. Many had heard the name in old stories, whispered like ghost tales. But no one believed those stories were real. Yet the armor showed the proof through the map. The dark region on the hologram pulsed like a heartbeat. It was moving. Expanding. Coming closer. A young alien student stepped forward nervously. How long until they reach us? The armor answered without pause. 3 months. The hall fell into deep, suffocating silence. Lina felt the armor's energy pulse around her like a soft heartbeat. It was waiting for her command. Waiting for her answer. She whispered. Why did you wake up now? Because you returned, the armor said. Because you remember. The universe needs the architect again. Lina sighed. It felt strange to be called a title she barely remembered. But the responsibility pressed heavy on her shoulders. She could not ignore it. The aliens gathered around her, no longer mocking, no longer laughing. They were afraid now. Afraid of the darkness coming for them. Ryloth looked up at her with a new expression. Respect mixed with fear. What will you do? He asked. Lina lifted the armor's head toward the broken ceiling and the sky above. Prepare, she said. We don't have long. The armor stepped forward, and the ground trembled under its weight. We must rebuild the defenses, she continued. We must gather the Starfleet. Train pilots. Repair old ships. Create new ones. Prepare every world in the Academy's network. Ryloth nodded quickly. We will do everything you say. But will you lead us? Lina paused. She didn't want to be a leader. She didn't want to be a commander. She didn't want the power or the fear or the responsibility. She only wanted the universe to live. Yes, she said softly. But I won't fight alone. The armor's chest brightened again. A small golden sphere rose from its core, shaped like a seed. What is that? An alien whispered. Lina answered, a knowledge seed. It contains designs, technology, weapons, everything my old self created. Every alien in the hall gasped. This was priceless. This was sacred. This was impossible. Lina held the seed in the armor's hand. We will need all of it. The armor spoke again, voice low and heavy. The Arath are stronger now. They have evolved. They have conquered new worlds. You must awaken the armory. Ryloth swallowed. The armory? You mean more weapons? Lina nodded. Yes. There are more armors like this one. More machines. More ancient defenses. But they are hidden. Locked. Scattered across the galaxy. The aliens looked terrified again. How many? Ryloth asked. The armor answered. 7. Lina felt the weight of the number. 7 ancient armors. 7 guardians. 7 old powers waiting to be found. The first war destroyed them. But some might still be alive. The armor opened its wings, 2 large metal extensions glowing with golden lines. The hall lit up like sunrise. Lina looked at the aliens. We have 3 months to find them, she said. 3 months to rebuild everything. Ryloth bowed his head. You will not be alone. Lina stepped forward. The armor's footsteps echoed through the hall like thunder. Good, she said. A beam of light shot from the armor's back, turning into a map of the galaxy with 7 golden points glowing like stars. Lina pointed at the first location. We start here. And the journey began. The starship moved through deep space like a silent arrow. Lina, inside the ancient armor, stood near the large window of the command deck. Stars drifted past her like tiny sparks. Each spark reminded her of the war she once fought and lost. The aliens around her worked in silence. They still didn't know how to act around her. She was human, yet not human. Weak, yet powerful. Young, yet older than their empire. Ryloth approached carefully. We will reach the first location soon, he said. But, we do not know what waits there. Lina nodded. Neither do I. The armor's lights pulsed behind her, almost like it was breathing. The first armor is sleeping, it said. But its world is not empty. Ryloth frowned. What do you mean? The armor answered. Others have found it. A cold silence spread through the room. Lina turned her head slightly. Who? The armor spoke with a deeper tone. Raiders. Ryloth looked worried. Space raiders? Pirates? They will destroy everything. Lina shook her head. Not destroy. They collect ancient weapons. They want power. She closed her eyes for a moment. She knew exactly how dangerous that was. The ship dropped out of hyperspace. The stars bent, stretched, and snapped back into place. A dead planet appeared in front of them. Gray. Cracked. Empty. Rotating slowly under a dying red sun. Ryloth whispered. This world, it looks cursed. No, Lenari Blaith. It's sleeping. They launched a small landing craft. The ancient armor stepped inside, bending slightly to fit. Lina stood tall within it, silent and focused. The craft flew down toward the silent planet. The surface looked worse up close, broken buildings, old scars, deep craters. Something terrible happened here long ago. The armor's voice echoed inside Lina's mind. I remember this place. Lina asked softly, what happened here? The armor answered, the first creator tested us here. This was a training world. A place for strength. Lina sighed. Now it's a ruin. The craft landed gently among the dust. The door opened. Lina stepped out first. Each step of the armor sent vibrations through the ground. Ryloth and 2 alien soldiers followed her. The air was thick with silence. No wind. No life. Only the distant groan of metal from fallen towers. They walked across the cracked stone until the armor spoke again. We are close. Lina felt something tug at her mind. A soft pull. A strange warmth. Another armor, calling to her. She whispered, I can feel it. Before Ryloth could reply, a laser shot cracked through the air and hit the ground beside him. He jumped back. Raiders. Shapes appeared on the rocks above them. Armored figures with dark helmets and glowing weapons. Their leader stepped forward. A tall woman with sharp eyes and scarred skin. Well, well, she shouted. Look what we found. The golden armor. The myth itself. Her voice was rough, but confident. She smiled like a hunter who caught the biggest prey. The raiders aimed their guns at Lina. Ryloth whispered, terrified, Lina, they want the armor. Lina stepped forward. The golden plates shimmered. The raider leader lifted her weapon. Remove the human from inside. The armor belongs to us now. Lina didn't move. The raiders fired. A dozen blasts of red energy hit her at once, but the armor absorbed every shot like rain hitting steel. Smoke rose from the impact points. The armor's glow only grew brighter. A few raiders stepped back in fear. The leader shouted, "Again! Hit her again!" They fired. Lina raised her hand slowly. A golden shield formed in front of her, catching every blast. The raiders blinked in shock. "No weapon you carry can break this armor," Lina said calmly. "Leave now." The leader laughed. "You think we're scared? You think we're stupid? We came prepared." She snapped her fingers. A large machine rumbled forward from behind the rocks, massive, black, and covered in stolen technology. Its core flickered with unstable purple energy. Lina's eyes narrowed. "That energy, that's Aroth tech." Ryloth gasped. "How did they get that?" The leader smirked. "From a destroyed world. A world your kind failed to save." The machine charged its weapon. The armor spoke urgently inside Lina's mind. "Dangerous. Very dangerous. If it fires, this area will be destroyed." Lina stepped forward. "I'll stop it." The machine fired. A beam of unstable purple fire shot toward her, but the armor slammed its fist into the ground, creating a shockwave of golden light. The beam split in two and crashed into the rocks behind them. The planet shook. The raiders stumbled. Lina leaped forward. Her armor moved with impossible speed. She reached the machine in seconds. She grabbed its core with one hand and crushed it like brittle glass. The machine exploded from the inside, collapsing in a cloud of dust and metal. The raiders froze. Some dropped their weapons. Others tried to run. The leader stood alone, shaking with anger and fear. "What are you?" she whispered. Lina stepped closer. "I am human," she said softly. "And something more." The raider leader glared at her, then pointed toward the ruins behind them. "You may have beaten us," she spat. "But you're too late. The armor you seek is already awake." Lina felt her chest tighten. Awake? The ground trembled. A deep, metallic roar echoed from beneath the ruins. The ancient armor beside Lina spoke urgently. "The second armor is rising." Dust exploded upward. Stone cracked open. Golden light burst from beneath the earth. Something huge was climbing out. Lina stared into the rising smoke, and the shape that formed inside it. Another armor. Standing. Breathing. Awakened. But something was wrong. Its eyes glowed red. Very red. Lena whispered, "No." Ryloth stepped back. "Is it broken?" The armor beside Lina answered, "No. It has been corrupted." The second armor turned its head toward them and roared. The battle had begun. The chamber shook the moment the ancient armor accepted Lyra's hand. Light spread across the walls like living fire. But Lira did not step back. She stood still, calm, as if she expected all of this. The aliens could not understand her silence. General Vale kept watching her face. He searched for fear. He found none. The awakening. The armor glowed brighter. Lines of energy spread from its surface and crawled across the floor. Symbols appeared, old, forgotten, sacred. The ground hummed with hidden power. Lira felt the energy reach her feet. It crawled up her legs, then to her chest. It felt like warm wind. Soft. Not painful. She closed her eyes. Inside the light, she heard a whisper. A voice older than stars. "You finally returned." Lyra's breath trembled. But she did not pull away. The aliens panic. The alien soldiers stepped back. Some fell to the ground. The light from the armor was too strong for their eyes. General Vale raised his shield helmet. His face showed something new. Not anger. Not pride. Fear. "What is she doing?" he shouted. No one answered. Commander Lesrin tried to analyze the armor with his scanner. The device flashed red. It overheated and melted in his hand. "Impossible," he whispered. "This technology, it rejects us." Lira remained still. Lira stood calm inside the swirling light. She felt like the world around her slowed down. She heard the whispers again. They came from the armor. From the stone. From the air. "Your people forgot us. But you remember." Lyra's heartbeat slowed. She touched the metal piece gently. I didn't forget, she said softly. I made it. And I came back. Around her, the air cracked like thunder. The armor reacts to her words. The armor lifted off the pedestal. It floated in the air, turning slowly. Piece by piece it separated. Chest plate, gauntlets, greaves, helmet, all guided by invisible energy. They moved toward Lira, but not with force. They moved with purpose. The aliens froze. General Vale whispered, No human should be able to do this. History reveals itself. A hologram burst from the armor. Tall, golden figures appeared in the air. They looked like ancient warriors. Not human. Not alien. Something else entirely. They pointed at Lira. One hologram spoke in a deep echoing voice. She carries our code. She carries our mind. She carries our design. Commander Lezrin fell to his knees. He muttered. She is linked to them. She is part of them. General Vale clenched his fists. No. Humans have no ancient power. They are weak. They are primitive. The armor answered for Lira. Its light flashed like lightning. The hologram turned its head slowly toward Vale. You fear what you do not understand. Lira starts connecting. Lira felt pressure around her body. Not like a weight. More like a warm embrace. Pulling her closer to something she once knew. The armor pieces wrapped around her arms. She didn't resist. Her breathing grew heavy. But she didn't stop. She whispered, I remember building you. Even if it was long ago. Her voice shook. The truth she carried for years was finally coming out. General Vale's rage. General Vale couldn't accept it. No human made this armor, he shouted. No human could. He raised his ion spear and charged. His soldiers panicked, shouting warnings. But he didn't stop. He ran straight toward the glowing center. Straight toward Lira. But the armor reacted faster. A shockwave exploded from Lyra's body. It threw Vale across the room. He hit the wall with a force that cracked the stone. He groaned, trying to stand. But he couldn't. Finally, Lira opened her eyes again. They glowed the same color as the armor. White and gold, bright and ancient. She looked stronger. More certain. The armor pieces hovered around her, still forming. But even half complete, her presence changed the whole chamber. The soldiers backed away without thinking. Their instincts screamed danger. Commander Lezrin could barely speak. She's merging with it. She's becoming part of the system. The armor speaks through her. Lira raised one hand. Her voice layered with another voice. The deep, ancient one. It sounded like two people speaking at once. I warned your ancestors. The armor chooses its maker, not its finder. Everyone froze. The ancient holograms faded. The chamber grew quiet. Only the humming armor remained. Lira looked at her own hands. They glowed like light forged into shape. She whispered to herself, I'm not just wearing it. I'm remembering it. Her eyes lifted toward the aliens. Her voice became steady. And now, I know what comes next. The chamber was silent. The aliens watched Lira standing in the glowing light, half covered in the ancient armor. Her eyes shined bright white, almost too strong to look at. She looked like someone caught between two timelines. A girl from Earth. And a creator from the past. General Vale tried to rise again. His body shook. But his eyes still burned with pride and confusion. He could not understand how a simple human girl stood in the center of power he had chased for decades. The armor fully wakes. A pulse of light expanded from Lyra's body. It was soft, but the energy inside it was heavy. It felt like a lost memory coming back to life. The armor pieces lifted again. They circled Lira like metal stars. Piece by piece, they latched onto her. The chest plate with a click of thunder. The greaves sliding smoothly into place. The gauntlets locking around her wrists. The helmet floating above her head, waiting, listening. Every piece glowed the same color as her heartbeat. The soldiers gasped as the floor cracked under the pressure of the energy. Commander Lezrin stepped closer, trembling. He whispered, This armor, it was not built for us. It was built with her. He looked at Lira with fear and respect. Not chosen. Recognized. General Vale spat blood and forced himself up. Recognized? She is human. She is nothing. But the chamber reacted to his words. The walls vibrated. Symbols glowed. The pedestal shined brighter. Lira slowly turned her head toward Vale. Her glowing eyes reflected him like a mirror of truth. You still don't understand, she said. Her voice echoed with a second ancient tone beneath it. This place did not accept me because I am human. It accepted me because I came back. The memory awakens. A giant hologram burst from the center. This time it wasn't a warrior. It was a city. Floating towers. Bridges of light. People, tall, luminous, creating weapons, armor, ships, and knowledge. Lyra's face softened. She had seen this before. Not with her eyes, but in dreams. In moments she could never explain. The hologram zoomed in. A workshop appeared. An ancient version of the armor rested on a table, and standing beside it was Lira, or someone who looked like her. Her shape, her face, her movements. But older, wiser, a creator. The aliens gasped. General Vale's eyes widened with disbelief. That cannot be, he whispered. The hologram image continued. The ancient version of Lira placed her hand on the armor and whispered, "If I fall, I will return. If I die, I will be reborn. If my world forgets me, this armor will remember." The hologram faded. The chamber turned dark and quiet. Lira stood breathing slowly, processing everything. She wasn't a random girl. She was the reincarnation of the armor's original maker, a builder from a lost civilization. Some alien soldiers dropped their weapons. For the first time, they bowed their heads. Commander Lezrin followed them. He knelt and spoke softly. "Forgive us. We did not know who you were." Lira shook her head gently. "You feared what you did not understand. That is normal." Her voice was calm, almost warm, but powerful. But this armor was never meant for conquest. She turned her gaze toward General Vale. It was meant for protection. General Vale makes his last move. Volruare din anger. No armor chooses a human over the Vale dominion. He pulled out a hidden energy blade from his armor. It glowed red with unstable power. And he leaped at Lira one last time. But the armor finished its activation. The helmet descended onto her head. Light wrapped around her body, forming wings of pure energy. Her voice echoed through the chamber. "Enough." She raised her hand. A shield of light burst forth. Vale slammed into it. His blade shattered into particles. He fell to the ground, defeated. The chamber dimmed. Lyra's choice. The armor stopped glowing. It had completed its merge with her. She now stood fully armored. The same armor she had created long ago. She looked at the aliens. "You came here seeking power," she said. "But this power was meant to guide, not destroy." Lezrin bowed again. "What will you do with us?" Lyra's eyes softened behind the glowing helmet. "You will go home, and you will tell your people the truth, that the ancient makers returned, and they wish no war." Lezrin nodded slowly. He understood. "And the armor?" he asked. Lira looked down at her glowing hands. "It stays with me. It is part of me." The walls cracked open, revealing a massive doorway. Outside was a path made of floating stone. Light guided the way. The chamber was giving her a choice. Return to the world with new purpose, or stay as the guardian of this ancient place. Lira turned to the aliens. "Go. Your ships will unlock now." They hurried out, trembling, grateful. Only Lira remained inside the glowing chamber. She looked up at the floating symbols. "I remember now," she whispered. "I made this armor to protect the weak, and I will do it again." The armor pulsed once. Like a heartbeat, a new guardian rises. Lira walked through the great doorway. The exit closed behind her with a soft hum. She stepped into the open world, glowing like a star in human shape. General Vale lay behind, defeated by truth. The aliens fled with a story they would never forget. And Lira, the reborn maker, the human they mocked, the creator they doubted, walked forward, ready to face a universe that finally remembered her.